Alright guys, hopefully I have an audio running. This is the part 2 of stream number 7. I'm brought to you by Jurassic Park, 64 million years in the making. Rated PG-13. Oh my god. Oh, shoosh. Alright guys, hello. Time to do a little bit more sculpting. But okay. So what's up? I just came back from seeing Terminator Genesis, and now if you want to see the movie and if you still haven't saw it and seen it, and you don't want any spoilers, you'll just have to shut down your audio. You'll just have to mute this video because I got a feeling I'm going to spend some of my time while I'm, working on Dinosaurs. I'll be talking about my experience, watching the Terminator. But before I begin for real, I just need to quickly load some reference material on my other screen. So you're just gonna have to be a little bit patient, So it's all. Just a little bit patient, please. Okay, so let me just quickly open up a couple of photos and get myself ready. Da, 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 da. All right. So one other, okay. Oh, thanks, man. So you've seen the last stream, the part 1, where I made the color like preview, or you're just commenting on the blue color of the beak? That's actually a template for masking. I'm not sure. Not sure what you refer to. So yeah, this blue jaw color is actually like some sort of base so I can, you know, quickly mask the beak jaw, so that I can move it, open it up, you know, open up the jaw, close it down, and stuff like that. Does nothing to do with the actual color that's going to be on the animal. Anyway, Terminator Genesis. My God, I kind of had higher expectations than what I ultimately ended up with, if that makes any sense. Where do I begin? At, at this point, I'm not even disappointed. After Jurassic World, I guess I kind of became immune to all the bullshit that's, you know, going on in I guess Hollywood, I could say, in the movie industry. Now, I guess I don't know, the producers and the creative force behind Terminator Genesis, they tried, and you know, they should be applauded for that, I guess. But for me personally, they failed. Again, I'm not so much. I was not so much disappointed as much. I just wanted it to be good, and I just, you know, wanted. I just wanted. I had good wishes. I had high hopes, and I was like, you know, hoping for the Terminator franchise to, you know, be like rekindled in a good way, and just just so sad. I'm not sad. I'm bullshitting. I'm not sad. I'm not disappointed. I'm not sad. I just wanted it to be better. Gosh darn it. So I don't just it's at this point it's really hard for me to gather my thoughts and, you know, begin like talking about the movie is flawed, and the time traveling logic behind Terminator franchise was always a little bit like, you know, eyebrow raiser, I guess I should like say. Or you'll have to excuse my incompetence to, you know, like consciously, or I'm not sure if how to even, you know, looking for a word. So much shortcuts, so many shortcuts in my brain right now. So basically, the main problem with Terminator Genesis is because, like, it's really hard to pinpoint the major problem, because, you know, the entire movie is so scattered, and there are like so many things that kind of don't make sense, and I was just, you know, constantly, yeah, the movie is also filled with like tributes to, you know, previous Terminators, and it's sort of connected with the, you know, events that take place in the first Terminator and somewhat in the second Terminator. And there are like a lot of situations and, you know, tributes to that, and it's just okay. Let me see. I just need to pick a brush before I. Okay, so Oh man, this stream is going to like have to be like edited like heavily because I'm so like I'm having such difficulty to, put together some thoughts on Terminator, and I want to discuss. I want to like talk about it so badly. Uh, yeah, I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to fixate on my mind on some part of the movie and start from there. Like I was constantly comparing, as the movie was, progressing. I was constantly comparing the scenes and the stuff that was going on with the Terminator 2, The Judgment Day, and there, the Terminator 2. That was. This is like like a classic, like an epic piece of cinema, and in this movie, if you look at it like generally, like like an entire movie, it doesn't come not even close. Because this movie, I don't know, they wanted to explain so many things and they kind of got lost and tangled up in these time travel like paradoxes and time continuums and you know after after a certain amount of time, all the effort of characters and we need to go back to this era. We need to, like he was sent there. The Skynet sent Terminators to 2017 for like Jesus. Ah, I just don't know what to say. I mean, I loved Schwarzenegger. I loved his appearance, and the scene where there's a scene where from the first, actually, it's like from the first movie, where there are like three punk guys on a railing at the entrance of I think it's a Griffith Observatory above Los Angeles, and we see like younger version of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator approaching them, and he's like, he's like repeating some of the stuff they are like messing with him, and then he like he's like, I need your clothes, and then you can hear in the background the older Terminator approaching, and like he like replies to the younger Terminators like, you won't be needing any clothes, I've been waiting for you, and then they start a fight, and I loved this part. That was like pretty awesome, and the entire movie was filled with like more or less awesome scenes and choreography, and but when you look at it like a complete, like a whole, it just sort of failed for me on a couple or even on more levels. Like even the special effects, they were trying so hard, like the helicopter chase scene, and there are like some scenes where just the shit happens in front of your eyes and you don't even feel the tension, you're not like you should be excited or worried for your characters. You should be like the scene should like be tense. You should be like a thriller, or and basically you're just watching and okay, so yeah, just like if you think back when Terminator 2, where the T1000 chases Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton and Edward Furlong in that minivan, and they're like heading towards this power plant or whatever it is, like some sort of industrial area where the liquid nitrogen truck spills and the T-1000 gets frozen, and the whole part where the T-1000 flies the chopper, the police helicopter, and chases our heroes. Like it is so tense. It's like you're sitting on the edge of your chair, nibbling in your fingers, basically. When you saw the movie for the first time, and this is how I experienced it when I've seen it for the first time when I was like, I don't know, I think I was like 12 or something like that, 13 years of age, and I'm not sure, maybe 11, and you don't have that stuff in Terminator Genesis. It's like just scene after scene after scene. It's like you're watching a demo reel of Industrial Light and Magic or whoever made the effects for the movie. Just doesn't. I'm sorry, guys. I should be sculpting dinosaurs, not talking about movies. But just this is bullshit. I want to talk about Schwarzenegger. I want to talk about movies. I want to talk about Terminator. Come on, guys. Can't you realize that? Anyway, God. Just so bad. Just would be so cool if it was like perfect, sequel, and man, I would be so happy. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Excuse me. And basically, I was discussing this with my friend a couple of days ago when we were like, floored with basically how bad Jurassic World was for us, personally, and we couldn't believe it. And prior to Jurassic World, I've seen San Andreas, the earthquake, you know, catastrophe movie, and yeah, the major consensus was that Hollywood should probably like resign from making I call it Hollywoodization, making things like, they're constantly trying to make every freaking second of a movie to be like tense, to be like nerve-wracking, and to build a suspension, and to like have you looking at the scene in disbelief, and it comes down to like you're watching these suspenseful scene after scene after scene, and and there's like so much suspense that they're throwing at you, and that you begin to like you're becoming immune to it, and you don't even notice it, and what once should have been like regarded as suspenseful situation, and tense situation is. Hey Dark Scion, hey, how are you? Thanks for dropping a line, and thanks for joining. Yeah, we got chat right now, and that's really cool. I was just talking about Terminator Genesis thing. Anyway, the thing that I was saying is like for instance Godzilla, the latest Godzilla movie. Like I would have been like okay if they if they only not a problem, no problem, bro. Um, Basically the Godzilla movie, I would have been okay if they showed like if they showed Godzilla like the last 20 minutes of the movie, and you see 5 minutes of Godzilla and the movie like ends, and you've got like a cool sort of uh, uh, like a cool setup for a sequel where you're hoping to see more of a Godzilla and more of destruction and more of stuff. Whereas they, create a movie where, you see so much Godzilla in the first 5 minutes that like there's like literally the suspense for Godzilla like basically is equal to zero, like whatever. The freaking huge monster is roaming through the city, and the buildings are collapsing, and it's like the situation should be like terrific, and you're like, oh, yeah, okay, so what next? And I guess Hollywood should like leave it alone a little bit, and I don't know. I mean, I guess Hollywood's doing okay because these movies are making a lot of money and stuff like that, but critically they are, they're shitty. And me as a fan of science fiction and that type of movies, and when you see some of these movies that are both successful in the box office and make a lot of money and are really like good movies from the movie point, from the plot point, characters and everything is perfect. Hey, yeah, okay, so I'll probably shut up about Terminator. Maybe I'll mention a little bit more about stuff about Terminator, but I'll try not to talk about Terminator too much. Yeah, I've seen it like a little while ago. I returned from cinema. Just had to see it. Oh, I was talking about something. Yeah, because basically I'm a fan of these type of movies, and I just want these movies to be successful in all the aspects of in all the aspects of that one can expect a movie can have. Like why not have a good movie in from all the points of like special effects, like storytelling, characters, direction, whatever, everything. Yeah, Jurassic World. I was just saying, yeah, Jurassic World was a big letdown for me. I just, I just couldn't believe, how much of a letdown it turned out to be for me. I basically put it right next to the Jurassic Park 3 in terms of, how how it turned out to be. So, yeah. And yeah, I just don't know what to say. Also, I had somewhat my hopes for Terminator Genesis like were carried, like, I was like, led to believe that there might be something good um, regarding Terminator. Um, so I'm not going to talk about the movie and the plot and whatnot, but I've seen a trailer where James Cameron is like saying, if you love the Terminator 1 and 2, you're gonna love this one and this and that, and like he was praising this production, and I sort of thought genuinely like, all right, so if the man is talking like high praises about this movie, she's just it has to like, you know it just has to be okay, like. And turns out it was a bullshit. It was bullshit. So all along. So there you go. So the movie is just failed for me. It failed sort of flat for me. Terminator. Yeah, Jurassic World is definitely filled with inaccuracies in regards to how dinosaurs look, and how dinosaurs move and stuff like that. But this is a major deal breaker for me. I could have lived with all these inaccuracies. Jurassic World sort of had like bigger problems, if I'm asked. Oh, but true to that, yeah. The Mosasaurus and the Pterosaurs they're not like dinosaurs, but a whole lot of inaccuracies on all these creatures. So the Mosasaurus was, it was like double the size it should have been. So it was like too big. But as I said, some of these things I'm okay with that, and they even sort of like mentioned it in the movie. That these dinosaurs, they're actually not dinosaurs. They're like genetically modified like monsters. And basically made on demand by the park owners to look scarier, be bigger, and just to draw in crowds and make money. So from that point, they sort of got it covered, and yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I guess the pterosaurus attacking and lifting people up, that was really like ridiculous. The fork tongue thing on Mosasaurus, I really didn't bother me at all. Um, but yeah, Jurassic World could have been a lot better movie. That's just just the fact. But I guess, you know, the makers and everybody are happy because it, you know, broke the opening weekend and, you know, made a lot of money. So I guess mission accomplished on their end. So yeah, exactly. Why made, you know, pterosaur, but when you can, you know, when there were like reptiles that, you know, were really large. And I would even like, you know, doubt that Quetzalcoatlus would be able to, you know, lift a grown, you know, adult human, probably because, I mean, maybe because it was probably, you know, heavy enough and, you know, built in such a way to be, you know, able to fly and glide on its own. Probably wasn't, you know, a power flyer in terms like, you know, compared, you know, like eagles or some other animals that, you know, that do not need ideal conditions to, you know, soar and fly. Yeah. But the Terminator, why, oh, why? Oh, God. Even the Arnold Schwarzenegger couldn't have saved that. Gosh. Ah. Come with me if you want to live. Come on, get the hell out of here. We need to get the hell out of here now. Bullshit. God. Arnie. Hmm. Yes, actually, I was talking about Fury Road the other day on I think in the last stream I mentioned it, and I was actually mentioning that the trailer was like perfect, and I like couldn't believe how good it was, and I was like laughing my ass off to the trailer, and I saw the short movie that they released, and I liked it, but I thought that the trailer was like, you know, sort of funnier, or, you know, I don't know, just felt like a little bit better, maybe, not sure. Sort of when they, you know, made it into 30 minutes or something, whatever the time is. Um, it sort of felt a little bit watered down. I'm not sure, but overall, I think what they did, you know, through the crowdfunding and stuff was pretty cool. Oh no, sorry. Jeez, I mixed the Fury Road to the Kung Fury. Jesus. Yeah. I saw the Fury Road and the movie was brilliant. The Mad Max Fury Road. Yep. The movie was brutal and brilliant, and I loved the characters, and every aspect of the movie was spot on. So yeah, thumbs up for the Fury Road. Yeah. I'm sorry. No, you just wrote a Fury Road, and I was like, Fury, Kung Fury. Had you written Mad Max, I would instantaneously knew what's going on. Yeah, my mind is a little bit bent, like from the Terminator experience, so sorry about that. Sorry about the confusion. So we are still spending a little bit more time to tweak the head for Dino Chaos. So Dinocarius had these little bumps, or not sure if there were bumps or holes all over the tip of its beak. So I'm not sure what that was. Was it an attachment point for some sort of whiskers? Like some fishes have them, or cats, or some animals have whiskers, like some sort of sensory organ, or was it just like some other type of sensory organ, like some scales and alligators have? Basically, not sure what these bumps meant. Yeah, really weird. Yeah, could been. Could have been. Uh, I'll just have to dig out a little bit more read on the Dinocaurus before I start detailing it tomorrow. Basically today I'll just try and get it ready for the detailing phase. So this is our tongue, right? I'm just gonna have to Google real quickly to maybe try and see if there are some more images of the skull or something like that. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so I found a couple more images. All right, let's continue. Hey, hi, DVZ TV. Yeah, I haven't seen Max Landis' view. Uh, I'm not sure. He's some sort of reviewer or critic or. Yeah, also about the scientific articles on Dinosaurs. Same for me. I couldn't, there's like relatively little like written about the Dinosaurs. It's relatively unknown. I mean, little is known about this species. After seeing Jurassic World, my appetite for reading Jurassic Park and maybe even Lost World books from Michael Crichton just grew bigger. Just, just to sort of flush out the bad taste that I was left with after, seeing Jurassic World. And I'll probably just, I have I have both books, so I'll probably do it. Yeah, I remember I've read the Jurassic Park book. I think I read it like 2 or 3 times back in the day, and Jurassic World I think I read just once. But as I recall it, it was also a good book. As far as I remember, I didn't have any like issues with it. So I think it definitely is time for me to grab those books and reread them again. Ah, so hot here. I need to take a drink. Oh, better now. Oh, that's a good find. Can you shoot a link to that article or something, so I can bookmark it. I've got a browser folder for dinosaurs. So if you have the link for the article, just copy the link into the chat box, and the links can be pasted into chat box. I tried it. Some guys yesterday posted some links as well. Oh yeah. Okay, so it's a login based thing. No problem. No problem. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's a subscription based thing, so if you have a subscription and an account, you'll probably have access to it, which I don't, so but thanks anyway. Oh, if you can, that'll be great, man. So my email is this. Thanks a bunch. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Thanks. I'll check it out later on, and I'll try and make use of it in my in this design. Hopefully, it'll hopefully help me better understand this dinosaur. There's like a 30 seconds or 40 seconds delay to this stream, so I'm sort of like a Terminator. I'm in future a little bit. Okay, so no point in making any details here in this area, because this area will probably be covered with fuzz and everything, so the potential placing for the ear won't be seen, won't be, it won't show, because it'll be covered in fuzz. So I did hold on, let me just quickly load the image with the color layout that I did today for this dinosaur. So my idea for the time being is to make Dinocairus have sort of dark black skin, and maybe like bluish goiter, and maybe pale blue grayish uh, like interior of the beak and the jaw, and maybe dirty white fuzz. I'll probably add some spots and sort of see if there'll be like some pattern. So but this is just early concept. I'll see how it turns out when when I finish all the details and everything. So this is basically what I have in mind right now. So I draw my inspiration basically from spoonbill bird and I don't know, geese or some other birds as well have interesting transition from the from the beak and the naked area on the face, and the the transition to the feathery parts. So I'll have to I just have to think that one through a little bit more. Before committing to a certain look. So this goiter, or I don't know, neck pouch, I was thinking of creating a morph target where basically I'll create a inflated version and this like regular deflated, hanging collapsed version, sort of like maybe give it an ability to have it inflated and sort of explain it to like maybe it used it for mating purposes and for I don't know, display purposes, stuff like that. Um, I've never seen Yiki creature before, but I've seen it like a week or two or a couple of weeks back. I've seen it on Facebook. A couple of guys were posting some articles and some renditions of this this little creature. And so sort of there's like there are a couple of versions of reconstructions floating around, like some with its wing membranes being covered with fuzz, some wing membranes being naked, sort of like a bat. If that's the Yiki, if I'm thinking about the same creature, I'm not sure anymore. Also, the question about the color and scales. Basically, I do all my detailing, without the color, and then, once I'm finished with all the detailing and sculpting, all these tiny scales and stuff, then I start applying color and, So basically, I never mixed the two of those. Yeah, that's the one, I think. Okay, so these like little creases that I'm doing, this is all just like an early phase. Uh, Still, a lot of work will be involved in getting this, like, to some sort of final stage. Sorry. Yeah, marabou stork are pretty inspiring animals, just as well as condor. Also, I think shoebill. Shoebill is a pretty spectacular bird. I've got like tons of photos of shoebill. Like, just a sec. I was talking about this guy. This guy is pretty spectacular. A shoebill. So what I find, I mean, just when you look at these details, this skin flaking and the beak flaking, just just great reference for just great reference for creating dinocaries, probably, because shoebill has this large beak and this is cool. Yeah, I don't know if he moved her out of the way or if he tried to take a bite and realize it was too big. But yeah, shoebills are pretty spectacular birds. Look at this. Look at this detail. This is just a perfect reference for you know uh, if you would like to create a realistic dinocaris, just stick to something like this and you're safe. Look at this. These are just amazing examples of what direction you can actually take in when it comes to detailing this guy here. I'm not sure what hole you're referring to. The hole at the bottom of the tip of the beak. Yeah, I'm not sure either what that's supposed to be. Whether it's like something normal or maybe some injury from before, or something like that. Not sure. Maybe he was trying to eat something that he wasn't supposed to eat, and maybe injured himself or something. But I'm not sure if that's the case. It doesn't seem like something fresh. It seems like it's healed, and since he's in zookeepers are probably taking care of these guys and you know fixing them up if they get injured or something. So. that's cool. I mean, the painting part. Sorry to hear you're struggling. So basically, do you have some sort of online account where your work can be seen, like your work in progress or something? Maybe, you know, maybe I can throw in a critique or something, you know, a comment, or if you'd like. Alright, let me check it out. Oh, it's pretty good. For a sec I thought I'm looking at the model, I mean from ZBrush or something, Mudbox or whatever. So you nailed the, you know, forms and the, like a diffuse lighting, pretty good. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Really solid paint job in terms of you know, achieving believable volumes and shapes and diffuse lighting and good stuff. I haven't been painting in a while. I was just, you know, I'm just doing this digital sculpting lately. Yeah, all right. There had been like ages from the last time that I made like a human sculpt. Alright, so these bumps are also a little bit provisional as of now, for the time being, and I'll have to tweak those as well during the next stream. Hey, no problem. Thanks for joining, and hopefully I'll see you again. Thanks for the PDF file, man. Really appreciate it. I'll as soon as I finish the stream, I'm going to go through it, and hopefully I'll be able to maybe apply some of the stuff that I find in this article. Yeah, thanks. It's really cool. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, sometimes the simplest of things are, the key to, becoming a better something. So, it doesn't matter really what works for you and what you manage to take out from my streams. Ultimately, as long as you improved on your work, that's the main thing. So, someone might have not, someone might not use a track brush, or there are people on different stages of, like skills and expertise, and at the different stages of, in their career, or in their like path of becoming better, and improving upon them, previous self, or how to put it. So, and you're constantly learning. I'm constantly learning. With each stream, I'm learning, new stuff. Some of the stuff related to modeling, some of the stuff related to dinosaurs, and you're just constantly. Every day you wake up and you leave your bed, you're bound to learn something, some tiny, thing. So it's just important to, as I was saying, for myself personally, to leave the comfort zone, and to try and do something different, to try and, take on a different approach to something, and this is pretty important in, becoming better at something. And so if you like, if my streams have like help you realize that if you take time, and if you don't rush your work, and if it improves, that's perfect. That's a win-win situation for the both of us. So I'm really happy. I mean, I would be doing these dinosaurs, regardless, because I'm doing these models for the upcoming book by Mr. Mike Kelly, and I would be modeling them regardless. So I thought, why not share it? And I'll be speaking a little bit. I'll be using my English. I I'll practice my English a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit during my work. I'm going to use my brain a little bit more. Sometimes maybe a little less. That's how it is. That's how it is in life. So I'm going to learn about streaming, and speaking as I work, and explaining some of the aspects of the workflow, and talking about stuff generally. So it's good. It's good stuff, and I like it. I like this new take on sculpting and modeling, and a little bit of streaming and talking with people and discussing, and hopefully I'll get better at this as well. I'll get more fluent in my English. I'm not gonna take as much time to put sentences together, and because sometimes I want to say something, and I get stuck uh, in a place where I'm looking for a right word to and to express my like ideas or whatever I have in my head, and so so Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, there's no secret technique. There's like, if you want something to be good, you have to, work your butt off. I mean, as far as I'm familiar, there aren't any secret techniques. I was saying in my previous streams, if I had the ability to program, I would be the first one to create, a couple of scripts for myself, so I can, do some of these things in ZBrush where I'd be able to speed up some of these processes, and it'll be like, I mean, I have some pretty cool ideas about how to maybe create a plugin for laying down like scales, like some sort of basic scale patterns, and then once that's done, you can spend a little bit more time tweaking and hand sculpting over these patterns that you've laid down with this plugin. And so in terms of secret technique, that would be like that would be it. But since I'm lousy at programming and using this type of language, uh, it's not gonna happen, at least for me. Or but maybe a good thing comes from this streams. Maybe somebody who is inclined to programming and stuff like that. Maybe somebody really comes up with something like that, and maybe he puts it out there for download, or maybe he puts it up there for you know for us to be able to buy it or something, and to improve our workflow to be a little bit faster, and get some of these results a little bit sooner, and with a little bit less effort. That would be great. Yeah, programming is pretty badass, if you ask me. But it's just my brain is working in such a way that anything related to numbers and formulas and stuff like that, it's like alien language to me. I just don't have the capacity for these things. I don't have patience for these things. I'm not made to be a programmer, or mathematician, or something like that. Um, I tried Noisemaker on a couple occasions to add scales, and I've got mixed results. And you've got little to uh, you know to completely no control whatsoever over your over what you want to achieve. And so, I think I used Noisemaker to create some scales for some snake that I was modeling or something like that. And it was relatively good, but wasn't perfect. You still had to, do some manual labor to, make it look somewhat okay. So Noisemaker is pretty good, but it's far from, ideal in terms of, applying scales to like different creatures and stuff. But, looking at some of these features in ZBrush, I just simply recognized, I'm pretty sure that, the thing that I have in my mind, the idea for a plugin, based on, painting different types of colors over the surface, and then, clicking the button and applying the scales. There's like your it would be possible. It would be maybe even easy for someone, from the ZBrush creators to do something like that. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat box. So yeah, the noisemaker turns out to, create scales that are, as you pointed out, uniform, and you've got no control over, maybe adding some randomness, or it doesn't have to be randomness in terms of randomness that we see in nature, but to be able to maybe have the same scale, like multiplied over the surface, but like maybe the dorsal area is like covered with larger scales that are like this identical scale, and then as it moves laterally and ventrally or wherever, the scales change in scale, and they become more or less scattered or more or less dense and stuff like that. So if Noisemaker could had these abilities, that would be pretty sweet. Okay, let me save this progress that we made. I'm gonna show a comparison to what we've started with real quick. So this is how our Dino Cairus looked today. And this is what we've came up now. So I feel as though the base is relatively good, and that I'm not sure. I'm gonna do some reading, and I'm going to try and see if whether there is more space for improving the base shape. And tomorrow I'll start adding detail, the final look phase. If I come to a conclusion after reading through some stuff and the PDF that I was given a little while ago, and if I come to a conclusion that that's it, this is as far as I can get it in terms of whatever has been discovered about this animal, whatever there's available for on the internet, and basically start detailing it tomorrow. So yeah, it turned out pretty sweet. Oh yeah, and I'll probably need to create a morph target for the goiter, for the throat pouch thingy here. So I'll create the inflated version, but before creating inflated version, I'll